With NBC preparing to air the timeless 2-episode special on December 20th, 2018, we felt it was the perfect time to cover the incredibly passionate #SaveTimeless fan campaign. This is On the Bubble podcast. My name is Josh Liston. For all sources, article credits, and everything else you might need for today's episode, check out onthebubblepodcast.com. Also, if you have any of your own opinions on the cancellation of Timeless, we'd really love to know your thoughts. You can share those with us via Discord, gunnageek.com/Discord. Okay, let's do this thing.
I'm Keir from Gallifrey Public Radio, a Doctor Who fandom podcast and part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows in the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting geeky shows at gunnageeknetwork.com.
Now, NBC's Timeless has had anything but an easy run on the air. After bouncing back from a Season 1 cancellation, thanks to last-minute negotiations with Sony Pictures Television, and then surviving a second cancellation after Season 2, Timeless fans were both relieved but also ecstatic to hear on July 30th, 2018 that NBC were announcing that an official order had been placed for a 2-part finale to properly conclude the show to air on December 20th, 2018. But the question is, how did Timeless end up on the bubble? How did the 2-part finale come to be? And what role, if any, did fans have in saving Timeless? From a pure ratings standpoint, Timeless started off pulling some pretty respectable numbers at a 1.8, but fell steadily over the course of the first season to a low of just 0.6, ending slightly up with a 0.9 for the Season 1 finale. Now, a 1.8, those numbers are traditionally borderline for a network television show to have a guaranteed cancellation. 0.6, 0.9, those are generally cancellation territory. But as we mentioned earlier, Sony Pictures Television intervened after the Season 1 cancellation, and a Season 2 order was given the go-ahead. Though, unfortunately, for Timeless fans and also the showrunners, the Season 2 ratings actually went even lower on average, floating between a very low 0.5 and topping out at just 0.8 for the 10-episode second season. One thing that was very obvious about Timeless was, although the ratings were poor and the show has spent its entire broadcast run essentially on the bubble, the fans of the show were seen online and offline as some of the most loyal, active, and engaged fans across all of television. In fact, I managed to dig up a quote from ET Now senior producer and host Leanne Aguilera describing Timeless fans and the Timeless fandom in the following way, quote, "Never has a TV fandom been more devoted," unquote. In some circles, including the show's writers themselves, the fandom was actually viewed as the only reason that the show was renewed for the 2-episode finale. Quote, "We can't wait to take all you #clock blockers on this incredible journey," unquote, the Timeless writers said in a tweet. Quote, "We're getting to make these 2 hours because of you," end quote. According to Campaign HQ, being SaveTimeless.com, campaigners launched multiple projects in their attempts to save the show over its 2-season broadcast run. I won't go into too much detail about each of those because I want to bring up something that's happening right now in the world of Timeless. But just to go through quickly what the #clock blockers have been getting up to, I thought I'd share a little bit of what SaveTimeless.com have been doing and just quickly cover a few of the more unique ideas that Timeless fan campaigners have come up with. I'll start with the most unique thing, in my opinion, that the Timeless fandom actually managed to pull off, and that was a campaign called the TCA Lifesavers. So the TCA actually stands for the Television Critics Association, which is a North American-based critics association that hold in-person meetings, meetups, and their own awards. So basically what the fan campaigners did was they banded together, and through a very quickly put together PayPal pool, they actually managed to get their own lifesavers, which are small lollies or candies, if you're not familiar with what they are, and have those branded with the Save Timeless logo, and have those sent on August 3rd in a really well-coordinated way to up to 93 rooms of the hotel or hotels where members of the TCA event were staying the night before the awards. And just some of the feedback that the fan campaigners received from the quote-unquote critics in the industry were as follows. Quote, "The lifesavers were a nice touch and a creative approach that no other campaign had thought to do before." End quote. So that's just really cool. I hadn't actually heard about a fully branded product being created for a fan campaign and sent to a very difficult group to get on side. Not the easiest group. It's not like sending a bunch of lifesavers to other fans of the show. These are professional critics. These are people that day trade criticism of television. So that's something that I think that the fan campaigners went out on a limb here. It was a brave choice because it took a lot of resources, both financial and time resources to pull off. But they got a little bit of critical support, some momentum, and they got people with outsized voices in the industry talking about the fact that Timeless was a good product, and through that process actually built up the awareness around the fact that there was a 2-part finale coming on December 20th. There was also a campaign which is still happening as at the week of December 20th. This was the other thing that really jumped out to me from savetimeless.com, and it's called the Clock Blockers Recruitment. So via Discord, tweet storms, a dedicated book drive, social media posting, and voting in loads of online polls, Timeless fans are trying their very best this very week that this episode will be out, leading up to December 20th, 2018, to grow the broadcast viewership for the 2-episode finale. Quoting savetimeless.com, quote, "Timeless has been renewed for a 2-episode special airing in December. NBC is saying it's a finale event, but insiders have hinted that if we increase viewership for the episodes and band together to show just how amazing clock blockers really are, we can crack open some doors at other networks and maybe even get ourselves a 3rd season." End quote. That's pretty sweet. So to finish up today, if you're a #SaveTimeless campaigner, congratulations on all your hard work. I hope you get your season 3. To the Timeless fandom more broadly, I hope the 2-parter this week is everything you want it to be, maybe even more spectacular and more awesome than anything you could have imagined. And lastly, if you're out there and you happen to be familiar with this show, I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard it's really good from people that I trust. Reach out to people you know may have watched the show, then fallen off, or might not even realise that the 2-part is coming this week, because it's really important in the world of Timeless to boost those same-day numbers. And just on the topic of numbers, if you were a little bit confused or a little bit lost today when I started talking about 0.5s, 0.6s, and all that stuff, it's only something I've recently got my head around, and it took a while. But I'm going to try and shortcut that learning process for you by bringing on author, diehard sci-fi fan, and, for the lack of a better term, TV ratings super guru, John J. Joex, to explain exactly how the nitty-gritty of broadcast ratings, same-day numbers, time slots, all those types of things work in the world of broadcast television. And I know it's really good because I've actually already recorded the interview with John, and we had a great time. It was a really enjoyable conversation. we spent a lot of the time laughing and joking around. It was really fantastic. But the nitty-gritty's in there. The ratings information is definitely in there. So check out the next episode of On the Bubble. Josh at onthebubblepodcast.com if you want to email the show. gunnergeek.com/Discord to join the Discord server for the Gunner Geek Network, which includes On the Bubble. You can find me there, as well as lots of other great hosts of shows and listeners of those shows, etc. It's a great group of people. And at Joshua C. Liston on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you wanted to share your thoughts on Timeless or just tag me in some Save Timeless gear this week. Okay, see you later.